Hello everybody, welcome to another episode on the channel, and today we're just going to be discussing Genesis a little bit, just to check out what it's going to be, which, if you're in the EST time region, you should be getting the Genesis update in about 2 hours and 8 minutes, which is awesome. So, pretty much guys, we're just going to take a look at some of the animals here and the biomes and all that cool stuff. And, well, first, we got the, what's it called, Astrocetus or something? Here. Wait a minute. Yep, Astrocetus. And this thing pretty much just allows you to blink around the map, which is pretty cool. And, I think it only has 3 attacks, technically 3. Well, after you blink around the map a few times, it starts it gets power from all the blinks that you do, and as it gains power from the blinks, I've heard this from someone else's video, but I think I don't know, it creates a bomb somehow. I think not 100% sure on this, but apparently it just makes a bomb after it gains enough power from blinking across the map multiple times, and then it drops down and does a lot of damage, which is cool. And I'm going to assume it's going to be really powerful. And also, its saddle comes with 3 catapults. If I'm correct, they're catapults. And which pretty much means that you and 3 other people could just ride on this whale and blink across the map, throwing rocks at things, which is pretty cool. And I think another attack is a bite. Maybe not, because it's a whale, and I think it's called baleen for a whale's teeth or something. Let's look that up. What is a whale's teeth called? Yeah, that works. Yep, baleen. Alright, so it's baleen. So it might not be a bite attack, but if I'm correct, it also has a tail whip smack, almost like the Brontosaurus maybe. And these guys just float around space, which is awesome. And the biome that they are in is actually pretty much like the surface of Aberration. So you can only go there at night, or else you'll get burned by the sun or whatever is the heat source on this map. Right. And there's also Reapers and Nameless, like Reaper Kings and Nameless on the surface, and I don't know if there's Reaper Queens. I'm not 100% sure about that. But I do know that it's pretty much like the surface of Aberration, and there is Seekers as well. And I'm also pretty sure that if you stand in the shaded area, that you will not get hit by the fire, which would be logical. So I'm going to assume that it works. And yeah, that's the Astrocetus. Let's do Bloodstalker next. This is the Bloodstalker, and you can see it right here. If you guys can't see that, I'm sorry, but it's just right there. And pretty much what it does is, well, it's in this biome, first off, which looks a lot like the caves of Aberration, or like the underground Aberration, but I'm going to assume that it's swampy, because it looks pretty swampy from here, and there's another one up there too. And well, there's a Sarco, and Sarcos spawn in swamps, so I'm just gonna conclude that it's like a swamp-ish biome. and you don't really ride this. There's no saddle for it, if I'm correct. It actually just like picks you up, and you can like swing on webs with this thing, if I'm correct, and it can also walk on water too, which is pretty cool. I think, if I'm correct, I'm pretty sure that it could like the Areno, you know how it like throws webs, shoots webs, whatever, and like slows down the enemy. I'm pretty sure this guy does that too, and it has a bite attack as well. And also when you're swinging like with the web, it makes like it's really cool, and it's momentum based too. So like if you just keep it up, you'll keep going faster and faster. Okay, so next let's do the Ferox, and this guy here. This guy is something, and he's holding element. So pretty much what this thing is, well, I'm pretty sure I can assume that this guy spawns in a snowy area. You know, kind of looks like a jerboa with 4 arms almost. And it looks like it's in the mountains too, so it's probably snowy mountains. And this guy, I think, actually lets you know when you're near element, and will dig it up for you. And you can feed it element here, which is what he's holding, and it'll turn into a giant like beast. Would be this right here, and this thing right here is insane. It's like the Giga, and it has a rage meter. So when it gets hit with enough damage, if I'm correct, and it's low on health or something, then it'll start attacking you and everything you own. So it's not great to turn this into this, but it's cool because you can ride it, and it does lots of damage, and it has great defense, from what I'm told. And that pretty much explains it correctly. Also, every time you feed this guy down here more element to turn him into this guy here, it will decrease the rage meter to where like it's easier to make this guy mad. So there's a up by making this cute little thing turn into something that will destroy everybody. But there's a downside to where the more you turn him into this, the easier it is that you could lose control of him, which eventually cannot be good. But I'm going to assume that he's a great starter because, like, why not have a giant werewolf that has 4 arms and is totally ripped on your side? I just think that's great. Alright, so that's the Ferox. And now let's move over to, well, let's do Magmasaur. This is the Magmasaur, and from the background of the picture and pretty much its name, I'm going to assume that it lives around pretty much like volcanoes, and pretty much like, you know, that there's this place in Ragnarok where like the wyverns are, and around the wyverns is like black land like you see in the picture here. That's where I'm gonna assume he lives, because he's sitting here and there's a erupting volcano in the background. So let's go with that. And this guy actually has a really cool saddle. It totally covers the survivor or the person riding it, and you can swim in lava with him, which is awesome because there's some places. I'm going to assume there's some places in this map that involve you riding the Magmasaur to get to it. And he also has this really cool attack, and what his attack is well, I mean, you can kind of see, you know, like all these things here, they all shoot out magma, well, not magma. I don't know. He shakes around, right? And there's this little volcano in the back. I think that's about. I don't know. It's something, and it just erupts pretty much and does lots of damage around it. And if there's anything near it, it dies pretty much. Which I'm going to. It's just scary. Okay, that thing is OP. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is for this guy. Alright, well then let's move on to the giant turtle, which is personally my favorite because it's a giant turtle. Who doesn't like giant turtles? I love giant turtles. Alright, well, anyway, this guy is super cool because not only I think is he the biggest creature in the ocean, but this guy, let me see, his back right here, there's actually a gravitational field that's surrounding it. I think I don't know. There's a field like barrier per se, invisible barrier that you can walk through, so that when you go underwater with him and like you have a base on it, like these guys do up here, it's actually going to be a pocket of air, which is extremely cool. So like when you get off of this guy, you could just be here, you know, just underwater, which is a great opportunity for underwater bases, which I think already exists. Like I think like you put a tech vacuum in there or something. I don't know, it sucks up the water maybe. No idea. But I just think that this is like super cool, like for making underwater bases. And it's also just like he's cool himself, you know. It's just super cool. And well, from what we can see, there's just a small island in the background. So I'm going to assume that this is going to be like a place that has multiple islands, but it's just not land mostly. It's just mostly water because this guy is tremendous and you need a huge amount of water to have him in there and to move him somewhat easily. Alright, and that's the giant tortoise. I think it wouldn't really be correct to call him a tortoise, even though he has tortoise legs almost. Tortoises don't swim, if I'm correct. I don't know. Anyway, he's a giant sea turtle tortoise thingy. Alright, and that's that. I think that. Oh no. Here we go. This here, I think, is. No. This here, I think it's motor. Like Moeder. Which is mother in some other language, if I'm correct. And what this is it's a giant eel, right? And pretty much what it does. Hi.
Showing this at 5:30.
Gotcha.
So that's you can be packing it up in about 10-15 minutes, so we can get out of here.
Gotcha. All right. So, like I was saying, this is a motor, and it's like a giant eel, and it's the first underwater boss that Ark had, and who knows, they're probably going to make another DLC with another underwater boss in it, but I'm going to assume that lots of people wanted this underwater boss because it's here now, and obviously it's totally swallowing this mosasaur whole, and can you see, like, all those teeth? Like, that thing is scary. And it creates, like, mini eels that aren't as big as her, but are her babies, so they're still huge, and probably half the size of the mosasaur. And these babies they're just annoying, okay? Let's just say that because what the deal is with the babies, I don't think there's any babies here, but what they do is uh they're like the eels, so they can shock you, which is annoying. So I don't know if the max limit is going to be higher for the amount of dinosaurs you can bring in for the boss here, Motor, but I kind of want to hope that it is, because I want to bring in more than just 20 mosasaurs against this thing, unless it has like a low amount of health, and it's just really OP. I don't know, but yeah, that's motor, and it can bite you. Like, it can bite you tremendously hard because it's literally engulfing a mosasaur. So yeah, that's motor for you, and that's the arena. I'm going to assume right there. Okay, and there is also the blade wasp too. This thing here at the side. There really isn't that much information on it that I know. Uh, but I mean, honestly, I really don't. This is a more full picture, but it's just I don't know if it's copyrighted or not. Probably is. Yep, right there. All right, so let's just use Arc's version. Right here. So this guy here, this is its head. I'm going to assume, and well, I mean, it has a blade on its head. Blade wasp, and well, it looks like it has a scorpion stinger here, right? So it can probably knock you out, and it flies, and has a sharp head. I clicked it. All right, and well, you see, I don't like the combination between poison to tranquilize you, probably a lot of damage from the sharp head, most likely not tameable because it's a bug, and that's just a fierce looking mouth. I mean, seriously, you see that mouth? That's scary. I wouldn't want to encounter that. And this thing's wing, it wouldn't be huge in comparison to the survivor, but I mean, the way the picture shows it looks like this has a pretty big wing here, and it has another one here. I'm like half positive, 99% actually. And it's just it's pretty much like it's okay. So it's like the bees, right? But it's skinnier, and it can stab you with a bigger blade than its thingy back here, stinger. So yeah, that's a tremendously scary thing here, and it's probably going to be in packs, and I'm gonna hate it, and I'm gonna run into it every time I go to where it is, and all that fun stuff. And also here, there's just one last thing I want to go over. There's new reskins or new skins for different for different creatures, such as the Aloe, Sabertooth, Spino, Raptor, Tapajara, Mosasaur, Parasaur, and Parasaur, which makes it look like a giraffe, which is pretty cool, I have to admit. This is like, I'm going to assume this guy's in the magma zone, because like it has streaks of magma, which makes it look cool. And I'm going to assume that the Sabertooth is also in the Frost Mountains or whatever it's called, like the snow area, you know, that place. And yeah, that's what's up. And then there's also the Spino, which I'm going to assume is also in the place where you can find the Bloodstalker, just because it kind of looks like it would be in that area, and that looks awesome. I love the reskin on the Spino, it's really cool. And the Parasaur. I honestly don't know where the Parasaur is going to go, besides the swamp area. It's probably going to the swamp area. I might assume that it could go on one of the islands there, but I'm not going to be. It's probably not going on one of the islands, but if it is, it's going to be cool. There's this raptor here, which also looks like it goes with the swamp too, because like kind of. I can't tell if that's like an aberration-ish look right there, like these glow maybe. I don't know, but it just has a cool like feather added, like feather color added to it. And this is like a universal Tapajara, or universe-esque Tapajara, which is pretty cool, because I'm going to assume it's going to be where the Astrocetus is, just because of its like color pattern. And this is the Mosasaurus. I don't think I need to explain furthermore, it looks awesome. And this here is probably going to be on the islands, because if they are going to put it in the biome where the Astrocetus is, it's probably not going to last long, so I'm going to assume that it's not going to go there. And yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for this video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching and for checking out everything in Genesis with me. And be sure, everybody with the EST region of time, to be ready for the update at 7 p.m. tonight, if I'm correct, it's 7 p.m. So thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you're new, why not subscribe? That would be awesome. And leave a comment. Let me know if there's anything that I missed. And probably I might have missed a few things, but let me know if you guys know anything else about the biomes and the creatures. And I'll see all you guys in the next one. Peace out.